Hello everybody, my name is ELDES and I will be presenting you today a new ELDES KeyBoB. That's right, a KeyBoB, because this little fella right here has its name already. Today's presentation will be split in two parts. So firstly, I will be specifying you the new KeyBoB values in the slides. Later on, I will be showing you the exact procedure of adding the KeyBoB to the existing security panel. So let's move forward to show you the new stuff about the new device. Okay. So firstly, the KeyBoB sales values. So the new KeyBoB is covered in rubber coating, which protects your KeyBoB from unpleasant scratches, splits, and drops. Also, a soft rubberized coating is designed for better grip. It feels much better in the hand, holding in the hand, and gives a soft and smooth hold. As you can see in the screen, it's colorful, so all these specified colors are available for purchase. The new KeyBoB is also supercharged with ELDES LTC technology. I will be specifying this technology in detail a bit later on in the slides, but shortly the battery of the KeyBoB will last more than 10 years. The KeyBoB has a precise command feedback by LED light and the sound indicator. And also, the new KeyBoB has a panic alarm function in case of emergency. So the new KeyBoB comes in 3 different colors. So you can adjust it to different family members depending on the design wishes to design. So it's styleful. You will never mix the KeyBoBs with the family members. And it's much better looking than other or old generation KeyBoBs. So a new KeyBoB is one and only tool for the customers who already tired using the smartphones with thousands of mobile applications installed in it. The KeyBoB can be connected with the keys. For the customer, it will be always in the hand. And the customers will be able to control the smart home systems using this simple guy, simple fella right here, arming the system, disarming the system, and performing the automation sections. As you can see here in the slide, we are able to control the gates, blinds, turn on the lights, turn on heatings, whenever the customer system is configured with ELDES security panels. The new KeyBoB also has a new functions and new features. One of them is the distance. The distance between the security panel and the KeyBoB you're holding in hand in the open areas it's 1.7 kilometers. So that means that you can remotely arm the sound system also to perform the actions for your home control and all the functions that you're connected with this KeyBoB. As I mentioned before, a new LTC technology. LTC, it means lifetime charge technology. So to describe you in detail, the KeyBoB sleeps all the time. In that case, he saves the battery. Once any button is pressed, KeyBoB wakes up and sends the information to the security panel. The 10 years durance lifetime of the battery is calculated if the KeyBoB is pressed 4 times per day. So depending on the presses of the button on the KeyBoB, the battery lifetime expands or closes. here I specified the actual looks of the KeyBoB box, well, where it will be shipped or sent to you. So there is information specified, all the necessary information is specified on the box itself. So we can see the list of security panels that are available to connect the new KeyBoB with, and those are not. The battery, the technical specification, the battery model, dimensions, working frequencies, working temperature range, the battery lifetime, the wireless distance right here, all the automation commands that KeyBoB is able to control. Also a QR code. I will be mentioning this one a bit later on. Changing a slide, information is all the same. The change is only in the color of the KeyBoB right here. So different KeyBoB with different colors come in different color box. Same with the last color. Now the manual version is also changed, as also a KeyBoB did. Manual will only from now on will only be available on the web page. No paper manual left. So using this link or using the QR code right over here, and if you scan it, you will be linked to the web page that is mentioned right there. Also, you will be always finding the latest manual version in the web page. Functions about a new KeyBoB. So from now on, this new KeyBoB can be assigned for the user. This means that different KeyBoB can be assigned to different family members. Also, the KeyBoB will be having its name. So we can set the name for that particular user who will be using the system with his personal KeyBoB. And the security, ELDES Security mobile application, the utility tool software system log will identify which user performed an action with his KeyBoB. A new function of one button and two functions. So we have by pressing one button shortly or holding for the same button for 2 seconds, KeyBoB performs 2 actions. So in totally we have 8 functions with 4-button KeyBoB that can be done. Short press, just pressing and putting the finger back, performs one type of action, and the long press for holding a button for 2 seconds can be performing different actions. We can easily disarm the system using control the PGM outputs, arm the system to stay mode using this KeyBoB. The panic alarm is available on long press only. Keep that in mind, please. And the visual and audio indications of command status are also available by sound of the KeyBoB and by LED light blinking. So for the technical guys mostly, this is the screenshot of utility tool software where we can see the new ELDES KeyBoB added and all the functions, all the parameters that can be changed and functions for the short press click and the long press click. So I marked in red four parameters that can be changed. So it's KeyBoB owner, a KeyBoB name, short press function, and the long press function. This is a list of the short press. As you can see, the action specified in the table. So we can leave the button perform no action at all if it's necessary. We can arm the system in instant mode using the exit delay. We can stay arm the system using one button, disarm the system, turn on and turn off the output, toggle output, to use the same button to turn it on and off, and to have a pulse on and pulse off functions for the button. Moving forward to long press, as you can see, all the functions are the same as we had on the short press. However, the new function, the panic alarm, is available on the long press only, as was mentioned before. Now, the technical specifications also for some of the guys are really necessary to know that. So there you can see the battery type that should be used for the KeyBoB in case of changing. The quantity of batteries, it's one. The operating temperature range, the battery operation time, it's 10 years or equivalent to 10,000 button presses. The wireless communication range, and compatible with eSIM 384 and KeyBoB Alarm Pro latest security panels with the latest firmwares installed. So make sure you're having the latest firmware installed for your security panels. And surprise your client with the new ELDES KeyBoB. Hope you will enjoy it. Now we'll be moving forward to the technical part. I will be showing you how to add the KeyBoB to the ELDES security, any ELDES security. So I'm switching the screens. I hope you can see it all correctly. There is the utility tool software. I think most of the guys that watches these trainings are already familiar with. Just a reminder for all of you, keep a note that we can do everything remotely. Right now, if you can see here, I'm connected to my personal security panel remotely. So no need to connect to physically go to the customer premises to install this KeyBoB for the customer. You can easily bring the devices for the customer to his premises, leave it for them, and simply remotely connecting to the security panel, you will be able to add them. Also, the KeyBoB must be pressed during the adding procedure, but that's not a big deal for the end user to perform this type of action. You will certainly see this. So I have an eSIM 384 security panel with one of the latest firmwares installed. I've connected to the security panel remotely. So for the guys who already worked with ELDES security panels using the USB cable and using remote connection, they already know about this. For others, it might be a news, but remote connection is a bit slower if comparing with USB cable or local connection. So that's not a big deal. So just informing you, so it will take a bit longer time to add new device to the system instead of using an USB cable. However, it's also possible, so you can use it easily. Again, short. I just used the pause for short term in case of I already had this KeyBoB added to my system. So just wanted to not to wait for you. Remove the KeyBoB from the system. So it would be the same situation that you will have a new KeyBoB, a new ELDES security system, and the KeyBoB adding procedure with ELDES security panel. So once again, I've connected to my personal security panel right here. It's eSIM 384, one of the latest firmware installed. I'm going to peripheral devices section right over here. This is the list of my peripheral devices. you can see here the one of the KeyBoBs are already added to the system. This is not the one that it's already added. I have another one. So I will be showing you how to add the new KeyBoB to the ELDES system. So the device is taken out of the box. So once we connect it remotely, open up the peripheral devices and press any button of the KeyBoB. Just so it gives you a sound. Just a reminder, the KeyBoB is sleeping all the time unless you press the button. So for the first time adding to the security panel, KeyBoB must wake up, and it wakes up by pressing the button. Okay, so we are having a remote connection. That will take some time. Right over here, the new KeyBoB, this one particularly, shows up in the screen. So it's gray, as it is not connected to any security panel. My personal one is already connected and it's already green. So pressing on the button and the new function appears over here. It's add to system. I'm instantly pressing that one. The command will be sent to the security panel that informing that I want to add this KeyBoB to my system. As you can see, the utility tool changed the name. Please press the disarm button on this wireless KeyBoB for the system to compare it. So I'm pressing the disarm button. If you could hear clearly, once pressed, the sound was a bit different. So this means the adding procedure successfully started. As you can see here in the screen of utility tool, reading settings from device started also. So reminder, remote connection, everything's a bit slower comparing with local connection by USB cable, but it's still it's not that slow, as you would need to get dressed, walk down to your car, turn the car on, and drive physically to the customer premises to add the KeyBoB to customer security panel. So it saves time still. So adding is being done right over here. Soon the device will be added to the system. Let's wait for a few seconds more. And I will be showing you the configuration of the new KeyBoB added. So configuration completed. The new KeyBoB shows up in the screen right in the top space. Once added, we have the same information with other wireless devices. So we have a KeyBoB name, the short name, the firmware version, and ID. Also, we can see the wireless range, the battery level, and two options: remove from the system and configure device. So we all know what the remove from system does. We don't need that in this case. Let's go to the configure device function. Here we can see the wireless device settings, the settings for the KeyBoB. The KeyBoB owner can be chosen from the users that are inserted to the security panel. On the user sections in the utility tool, right over here, you can have the different users configured already. The users who will have the PIN code will be shown here in the screen. And comparing, depending on the user configuration, to be exact, how many partitions that user will be able to control, that many partitions will be shown in the KeyBoB settings. Okay, so I'm selecting the second user for this KeyBoB. I can set this key fob name, for example, second user key fob, second user key. Let's keep it that way. Now we can select the different functions for each button of the KeyBoB. So by default, I suppose all the arming and disarming is already clear. So let's set these actions for this key fob. I will arm the system in the instant mode using the first button. And this is the partition that this second user is available to control. So we can see the only one partition here. If another user will be having 4 partitions to control, all of these partitions will be specified here. So it only depends on the settings for the user. Yeah, so I can also set the long press button function for this button, for the first button here. Let's say I will toggle output 1 or 2. Now we have configured the first button. Let's now configure the second one. So disarm the system, the same partition. Button action for the long press. Let's say I will turn on the output 1. Third button also arming to the stay mode. Same partition. Let's have a panic alarm over here. And the last button, what we can do more, arm system with an exit delay, for example. Same partition, button action, also a long press function is a panic alarm too. Okay, once done, write settings. Don't forget that one, to save the settings from the utility tool, which you have already configured, to save the settings to the security panel. So once writing settings function will be completed, this little guy will be having 8 functions totally, 2 for each button. And I will be able to control my home using the KeyBoB right over here. So the write settings was completed, and that's it with the KeyBoB configuration. So as you can see, each button has a huge list of the functions that can be added for each button. So do your fantasy, connect different devices to the customer premises PGMs. So the customer would be able to control his lights in his home using this small guy. He will be able to control, open up his gates for the guests arriving, for himself when he's getting back home with his car, and so on. It's all about the fantasy and the idea or your thoughts, what you can configure with ELDES security panels and performing with the configuration. So good luck, everybody. Hope you enjoyed it, and hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.